gentlemen, boys and girls, collectors of all ages, can't even speak this morning, and also too, NFL fans. Yes, this is my very, very first NFL show. Now, for those of you who've been watching the channel, know a little bit about myself. Been a massive NFL fan. I've been following the Bengals for 35 years, so I tend to think I might know a little bit about the game. I'm not going to pretend to be someone who knows absolutely everything, but for those of you who don't know, I'm SingleIssue Steve, and I'm coming on today to talk to you guys about my NFL playoff predictions. So this is week one. Obviously, I'm going to be doing next week and the week after and the week after, right up into the Super Bowl, and I'll do a little mini Super Bowl show as well. So thank you for joining. Appreciate if you've got any comments, anything you'd like to share at all, please chuck it in the comments. Happy to discuss further. Also, throwing it open to anybody who might want to come on and join me. You are more than welcome to as well. The same applies for the next couple of weeks too. So jump on and let's have a chat. So firstly, we've got good old Matty. Hey, buddy. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you as always. All right. So let's have a quick, super quick dive into the NFL season this year. It's been a bit of a weird one, hasn't it, really, when you think about it? So what we've seen is a bit of a change of the guard in many respects, because there's a lot of teams that you thought would be in the playoffs who are not. So the Lions, you know, I honestly thought the Lions would probably go pretty close to at least making the NFC Championship game. Eliminated. Kansas City eliminated. That's a huge one. Who would have thought Patrick Mahomes-led team would actually be eliminated from the playoffs? But you know what? It did happen. We've also got, what else have we got? The Ravens. I thought the Ravens would have gone a lot deeper than what they did as well. And so I'm just referring to my notes here. I've made a lot of notes as well. And what else did I put down? They're probably the main ones, actually. Look, it might sound like a bit of a homer, but you know what? I honestly thought the Bengals wouldn't have been 6-11 this year, but that's what happens when you get an injury to your quarterback who's out for most of the season. So, yeah, it's a bit of a change of the guard, especially in the AFC. Can't edit that out. So I'm going to have a chat about that because that's pretty exciting, to be honest with you. Something new. So I love the Eagles, but I had to make this for you, brother. Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, mate. Matty, anytime you want to come on talk, mate, you're more than welcome to. Just jump on. Just jump on. All right, let's get stuck into it. So what have we seen so far this year? The other thing I was going to mention too, which sort of threw me for a bit of six, is the Bills actually made it into the playoffs as a wild card. Look, to me personally, I'd had them pretty much pegged to maybe be playing against KC in their championship game this year. But no, they made it in as a wild card, which is just crazy when you think about it. Okay, let's get stuck into it. So the first game we have is the Rams at the Panthers. So the Rams are heavily favoured to win this one, which is really interesting considering it is played at Carolina. And the last time they played, Carolina actually beat them. And that was only, when was that? It was 31-28 just recently. It was only early December, I believe. So a little bit of a surprise that the Panthers actually beat the Rams. But sometimes, you know, everyone has their day. Sometimes teams will win. Sometimes teams will lose. That's what happens. So good thing, though, with this game is both teams are actually healthy this week. So there are no major outs to worry about. So both teams have full squads, which should make it a pretty interesting game. And just talking about the Panthers for a moment, out of the four teams from the NFC South, so Tampa, New Orleans, Carolina, and Atlanta, I wouldn't have thought out of those four that Carolina would be representing the NFC South. To be absolutely honest with you. Thought Tampa would have been, most definitely, but these things happen. Speaking of friends, Matty, good morning.
Hey, what's up, brother?
How are you, man?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Excellent. Hey, thanks for joining me, mate. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I'm happy you're doing a show like this. It's pretty cool. I haven't seen one like this, especially from our comic community. So I'm pretty excited.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, obviously when we start talking about the Eagles-Niners game, I'll definitely get your input on that because I've got my thoughts on it. But as an Eagles fan, definitely keen to hear what you have to say about it.
Sounds good. Sounds good,
man. Awesome. All right. So talking about the Rams-Panthers game at the moment, is there any? What are your thoughts, mate? Have you you got any thoughts about the Rams-Panthers game? Me personally, I think, the Rams are heavily favoured, but I think Carolina will take it to them for a little bit. Maybe at the start they'll stick with them, but I think the Rams will run away with it at the end, and they'll be moving on to the next round. What do you think?
I think the Rams will win the game, but the Panthers are playing with house money. They really have nothing to lose. They have no pressure on them at all. So I think their young team, especially with their quarterback, I think they have a chance to really stretch the Rams out further than I think a lot of people are giving them credit for. So.
Yeah, look, I agree, mate. And everyone was like, is Bryce Young a bust? We think he's a bust. We think he's a bust. I think he's actually turned the corner this year, which is really exciting. My oldest son's actually a Panthers fan, and my youngest is a Saints fan. Both Bengals fans. I tried to breed them as Bengals fans, but that didn't work out. So, but yeah, just I think Bryce Young's exciting to watch. And they've got Chuba Hubbard at running back. They've got decent receivers, and defensively too. They're pretty good. But I think one thing they might struggle with is trying to match the firepower of the Rams. I mean, the Rams have got a great running game. Both their receivers are, the receivers are really solid. They've got a good tight end core as well. And Stafford's he's been around for a long time. He knows the pressure that he'll probably face as in making the playoffs is nothing new to him. He's done it a few times. Bryce Young, on the other hand, it's his first sort of really, really big go at having a shot in the playoffs.
Yeah, so, I was just gonna say, I can see both sides of that because on one hand, obviously Stafford has so much experience heading into that situation and having won big games in the past, and then you have on the other side this guy who Bryce, how he handles it is going to say a lot for how far his team goes. So
yeah, spot on, mate. And good morning, Troy. Thanks for jumping on, mate. And Bo said to say hello to you as well, buddy.
Hey.
Always nice. And James, good morning, my friend. Nice and early for you. Or is it? I don't know. Time zones of US still throw me out. So welcome, mate. Thank you for jumping on. So we both think the Rams will win this one. So interesting. Next one. This is a really, really intriguing game. So this is the second game. And I'm doing these games based purely on the times of when they're actually being played. So for those of you wanting to watch the Rams-Panthers game here in Australia, it's daylight savings time. It's 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, so you can have a bit of a sleep and then get up and watch the game. Should be a good way to spend a Sunday, I reckon. Second game. This is going to be great. As I said, I'm really excited about this one. That's the Packers and Bears. So Packers are favoured, and I think they're only, and again, I don't gamble with sports or anything like that, but 1.5, there's only like a 1.5 difference with odds between the two teams. So it's actually a lot closer.
I think it's closer. I think the line got closer since then because I know at the beginning I think it was closer to like 2 or 3 points, and I think it came down a little. I don't bet either, but it is interesting to see how those things progress through the week as they learn news. I mean, there's real things like injury news and things like that to go into things like that, but then I think a lot of it is almost like political in the community, in the sports community, as like people start changing their mind as they think through matchups and things like that. But this one, number one, the history, Bears-Packers, the history that they have already adds to, this is the most wide open playoffs that I can remember in recent history, at least. I mean, maybe ever. And it's amazing. So this matchup, this is going to be really interesting because the Packers, if you just looked at this at the beginning of the year, you're thinking Packers are winning this game, no doubt. But if you're looking at it overall, especially the last 2.5 months of the season, then you would have to side with the Bears, especially after the injury to Micah Parsons, the injury that they had there, big injury on defense, and especially with the Bears running game, the way it's been with the two-headed monster that they have. So there's so much that goes into this game right here, but yeah, it should be one of the better ones this weekend. So
yeah, I'm excited, mate. And look, as a Bengals fan and following them for as long as I have, and the experience of those down years for Chicago fans, I'm actually really excited for them. And the football they've been playing this year has been really, really fun to watch. They've just been exciting to watch, and it's both sides of the ball. They're pretty strong. Interesting stat though. I was actually going back through their history, and the results are. Let me just check my notes here, mate. Sorry, where are we? Okay, so Packers lead the head-to-head, 109 wins. This is what is 109 wins, 97 losses, and 6 draws. But it's the interesting thing, which absolutely fascinated me, was the fact that they've only played each other twice in the playoffs.
Wow.
With their storied history.
Yeah, that's surprising.
That absolutely threw me for 6. I thought, geez, you think with their history and how long both teams have been around for that they would have Oh,
It's weird. It's weird too because they must be getting hot at different times. You know what I mean? They must have had really good teams at separate times when it all went with that. So.
Yeah, Bo, this is not what I pictured Matt's voice to sound like. I always pictured him as an Aussie. Whereabouts are you based, mate?
I'm in U.S. I'm in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
It's like northeastern U.S.
Yep, I got you, mate. Beautiful. What time is it for you at the moment?
Let's see. Got to find the clock real quick. 4:08.
Okay.
4:08 p.m.
Yeah, decent hour. I thought I'd get up a bit earlier for you guys.
Appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure, mate. All right, cool. Some other interesting information too, as well, is that in regards to turnover differential, the Bears have actually got the #1 ranked team for interceptions this year.
Oh my goodness, yeah. The takeaways have been crazy.
Which is massive. They've got 23 interceptions. They rank first in turnover differential with a +22, which is huge.
Yeah, no doubt. The young quarterback. The thing that makes me nervous about that. Caleb's been great all year.
Yep.
The Bears quarterback, but I don't know. There's something about if I was going to pick one game this weekend that would be like an upset that could look like a. I mean, you're in the playoffs, so there really shouldn't be many what people would call upsets. But this game, because of the experience, Jordan Love and those guys, I could see a Packers upset happening here. And that's not taking anything away from the Bears. Bears have a great team this year. Their defense, I don't know how I feel about the Bears defense, but I know their offense has been outstanding.
Yeah, and the interesting thing from a Packers perspective is they've actually got 6 injuries at the moment as well, which are like a little bit. I don't know if they're key players. I think there's a couple of offensive linemen that might be struggling to get up for the game this week, so that's a massive one. Also, having Jordan Love back after a couple of weeks off his timing is absolutely perfect to come back. Yeah, so if Malik Willis was playing, and I watched him play, I think it was last week, he actually looked all right.
Yeah, he's not terrible.
No, he's not. He's not. And I'm surprised that the Titans actually let him go, to be honest with you. But anyway, that should be really, really helpful for them, for the Packers to have him back. So, I think they've got 4 questionables this week. I think the Bears are going to miss Gardner Johnson. He's going to be a big loss for them in the secondary this week because let's be honest, the Packers' receiving core is actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
And you got like Dobbs and what's his name, Christian Watson as well. He's had a good season too. So I think the Packers will get up for this one. It's going to be a close one.
Yeah, no doubt. Should be a great environment, like I said, with the rivalry. They should be. Yeah. Should be a great game.
It's going to be a ripper of a game, mate. So it's not my pick of the week to be the best game, but I'll go through that shortly as well. So game 3, Buffalo at Jacksonville. Now, as I said in my intro, I'm absolutely stunned still that the Bills got in as a wild card.
Yeah.
Start of the season, would not have picked that at all. It is
I mean, crazy. Josh Allen alone would make you think they're winning their division. They're, get possibly up for a first round bye, all those things. And they just had a lot of ups and downs. Even my team, I love, my team's the Eagles. We played them a couple weeks ago, and he's still as good or better than he was last year and the year before. It's just they just have they're a strange team. Like when we were playing them, the defense is, I think their defense is underrated. The Bills' defense is pretty good. The offense, everyone knows what they are. Obviously Josh Allen runs that whole thing, but it's a dangerous opponent. The Bills.
100%. Mate, how good was their running game this year? I mean, James Cook had a career year and he rushed for, 1,600? 1,621 yards and he had 12 TDs.
Yeah, and he, you kind of saw that coming last year. Like he had so many games where he would have a big game. It was inconsistent though. He'd have a really streaky. He was streaky. He'd have a really big game. Then he kind of settled back a little. Then have another big game, and just exploded this year. I mean, just outstanding.
Yeah, and he's a great running back. He's fun to watch too. So, the last time these guys played was actually 2024, and they Jacksonville got smashed 47-10. So, but mind you, people go, that's in the past. Yeah, 100% it's in the past. But these Jaguars are different, and again, they're playing some really, really good, exciting football. Trevor Lawrence has really taken a step up. What's he been in the league now? 6 years, I think. This might be year 6 for them.
Yes, that's about right. Something right. Yeah. I know
Yeah,
last year when they played the Eagles at home, and they took us right to the wire. And Kobe Dean, the linebacker, had to have a pick off. He picked off Trevor Lawrence in the end zone to seal the win. I think we only won that game by like 2 points, and that was last year on our Super Bowl. Going through the Super Bowl, we had a really good team last year, and so I knew seeing that come from them, because when you see Jacksonville on the schedule, like back in the day, like Mark Brunell, you're talking like late 90s or like they had a good team then, but since then there hasn't been much out of Jacksonville. So when you saw them, you're thinking, this isn't too, but they showed me a lot back then, and they've only gotten better and better since then. So should be a good game. Hard to pick against the Bills. Hard to pick against the Bills for me, though.
It is, mate. It is. And I remember, as you talk about, the Mark Brunell days, I remember when Jacksonville first came on board, and you go, they had some pretty solid players. Like Tony Baselli was just one of the best defensive men. I mean, the guy was an absolute star.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he's in the Hall of Fame yet, but 100% he'll be going in there because he was just that good. The really interesting thing, though, for me was how evenly matched on paper these guys are. So if you have a look at the win-loss ratio, the Bills were 12-5, Jags finished 13-4. So
wow, even better than I thought.
Yeah, I was saying when I was doing my research, I'm like, holy shit, they won 13 games. Points per game, Bills were 4th, Jags were 6th. Time possession, Bills are 1st in the league, obviously leaning on that running game quite a lot as well.
Game,
Jacksonville were 3rd, and sacks, Bills had 36 and Jags had 32. So they're pretty evenly matched across the board. Trevor Lawrence actually threw for 4,000 yards this year. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Got some Dan Fouts numbers from back in the day right there.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, I remember that because I'm old. And anyway, but both teams also have a clear bill of health too, so there's no outs or anything to worry about. So I think this game is going to be very, very competitive. I think the Bills will just pip them, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville get up, especially at home, because the Bills have gone from playing the bloody snow to playing down in Florida. So different story.
Yes, exactly.
What do you think, mate? Who do you reckon is going to get up?
I think the Bills, but I think it'll be. I honestly think it will be. If, like you said, if the Jaguars pull it out, I won't be shocked. I won't be.
Yeah. And I know I love what's happening now in the AFC, mate. Just the changes. I mean, you got guys like, obviously Trevor Lawrence has been around for a little while, but he's only made the playoffs once, I think, in his whole time he's been in the NFL. But you got young guys like Drake May and Bo Nix and those kind of guys who are coming through. And obviously, I should have mentioned at the start that both Seattle and Denver have the week off this week because of their records at the end. So well done to both of those teams. I'm still a bit nervous about Seattle. Sam Darnold's been great, but is he going to do the Sam Darnold thing like he did in Minnesota when he had a great season and then just went straight down the gurgler?
Yeah, in fairness, like I saw the Broncos up close. We had a questionable call late in our game against the Broncos this year. And I mean, listen, you got to win. No matter how the refs call the game, you got to win. So they deserve the win. But Bo Nix, man, he took leaps and bounds throughout the season. I mean, like game to game, he was getting better. So their team is excellent. Seattle, I haven't watched this year. I've only seen like highlights on ESPN and things like that. But I know their defense is outstanding.
Yeah. It's not quite Legion of Boom level from those days, but it's a very, very, very good defense.
Yeah.
So they can give some teams some fits for sure. All right, next game, mate. This is all about you, this one. So this is the Niners versus Philly. Defensively, the Eagles are a bit stronger. The last time you guys played was 2023. Niners won that one 42-19, but I think you guys had a few injuries which didn't help.
Yeah, that was a bad game. We beat him. We beat him the year before in the NFC Championship game. We knocked Purdy out of the game, and I think Josh Johnson came in and he got injured and knocked out. And then Purdy came back in, but he had an arm injury, so he couldn't throw. Mm-hmm. So they just handed off the rest of the game. I think McCaffrey did have a late touchdown in that game, but I think it was like 31-7 we beat them in the NFC Championship game. Next year they come in during the regular season, just smash us, and then we went really downhill the rest of that year. And then obviously last year won the Super Bowl and things like that. But it's hard to call it a rivalry because we don't play each other often enough probably to call it that. But it has seemed that way. It has seemed that way. So.
It's definitely building. There's a bit of a crescendo to it. And I love the fact that two great teams are going to be playing each other this week, and this is my pick for game of the week. I think this is going to be an absolute belter.
I think it's great.
I love the Brock Purdy story as well, being Mr. Irrelevant, going to start for one of the most storied franchises in the NFL. It's just a really, really cool backstory. Defensively, you guys are actually stronger. So you're 12th in sacks, and I think the Niners are actually ranked 32nd in sacks.
Yeah, and not only that, I'm pretty sure that their pressure rate is also last in the league. You're 31 to 32. Their pressure rate is really bad.
Yeah, and even with the interceptions too. I mean, you guys are 15th, so sort of middle of the road, middle of the road kind of thing. But they're 29th. So
and it's weird. It's strange. It's strange because like our defense. I mean, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but our defense really took leaps and bounds as the year went on. Like the last game of the season is going to skew some of the stats because we didn't play any of our starters. But the way that they've played together, I mean, Andrew Makuba getting injured kind of stunk, the rookie. But they got Marcus Epps, who they picked up on waivers, or I can't remember if they traded to the Raiders or they picked him up off waivers. But he's played really good back there with Reed Blankenship. And the defense ever since we got Phillips from Miami on that late trade right before the deadline, I mean, he's played outstanding. Brandon Graham came out of retirement. He's putting a lot of pressure on Nolan Smith. Jalix Hunt led our team in sacks and interceptions as a defensive end / edge rusher. So that was, I mean, he's playing out of his mind. Last year when they drafted him, he was like a project. They didn't even know if he would really get on the field. And he has, I mean, I don't know. I love the way it's hard because obviously I'm biased because I see this team every week, but like seeing the defense come together, our offense has the players to do it. They just haven't done it this year, but the defense has been Super Bowl level, like championship level defense of just dominating some games. The one game I can't remember which game it was. I apologize, but we only gave up like 66 yards of offense the whole game. It was insane. I never saw anything like it. I've been watching football for a long, long time. So.
That's massive, mate. The other thing I'm really excited about this game is we've got probably the two premier running backs in the competition going up against each other this week.
Yeah.
You've got McCaffrey and Barkley. This is just going to be an absolute awesome game to watch. It's going to be – I don't think it's going to be high scoring but then again, I mean, the Philly offense – hasn't been brilliant this year. There were some patches sort of through the season where people are like, what's going on with the offense? Vets is not doing a lot and everything. I think things are starting to turn the corner at the right time for you guys. But at the same time, just these two running backs going against each other is going to be awesome. This is, as I said, it's going to be tight as a podcast. This one.
I'll give you some small insight of what I'm seeing too. There's going to be two large factors, both on lines, the lines in this game. Well, it's every game in football, but the Eagles all season this year, like people were like, oh man, did he take a step back? Is he hurt? Did something happen? It hasn't been Saquon. It's been our offensive line. Our offensive line has not played well this year, especially all through the middle there. Landon Dickerson, who's a Pro Bowler, all pro guard. He's been nicked up and injured. Our center, Cam Jurgens, he's been out. He had surgery, back surgery in the offseason. He hasn't quite been the same. We lost our right guard, but Steen's doing okay. But Lane Johnson has been out almost the whole year. And our record with him, I wish I had the stats in front of me, but our record with Lane Johnson is outstanding compared to when he's not there. And then if you look on the other side of the line, San Francisco, even though they have a good running game, McCaffrey's actually been more dangerous in the passing game this year. He's been a better receiver even. I mean, that's saying something for as good as a runner as he is. But the weakness I see on San Francisco, and it's a very dangerous weakness for them, is their interior linemen, their guards and their center. They're not bad players, but if you watch last week's game against Seattle and seen the pressure that they put on them, and that's not now with our team, we have Jalen Carter, we have Jordan Davis, both outstanding players. So if we can get pressure up the middle, no matter how good Purdy plays, no quarterback likes pressure right up the middle in their face. So those two things on those lines, I mean, you can watch any game and you watch the line and the line kind of dictates what happens, but those are big factors. So I'm not saying we're going to put up 40 points. Our offense is capable of it. They have Hurts, they have Barkley, they have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, they have Goddard. Goddard had like 11 touchdowns. I think he broke the record for the Eagles this year for most tight end touchdowns. And but yeah, so seeing the possibilities, this game could go like any way possible for a game because there's so many good players on both teams. So
100%, mate. And the other interesting thing that you touched on is McCaffrey's the leading receiver for the Niners, which is bonkers. I mean, they've got you've got guys like George Kittle and those kind of guys. They're great receivers, but yeah, the receiving core is probably not as strong as you guys, that's for sure. But I think you guys will get this one.
I think so too, and I think a really good matchup. I think another matchup besides the lines that will really decide the game is going to be their interior receivers, and by their receivers I mean their tight end Kittle and their running back McCaffrey going up against Zach Bond. And this week is that's our linebacker Zach Bond, and then the other linebacker is coming back this week, Nakobe Dean, who he's been outstanding. He got injured last year in this round of the playoffs. And they didn't think you never know with that kind of an injury if he's going to be able to come back. He's literally better this year. He did have an injury a couple weeks ago that kept him out, but he's coming back this week. So that's going to be a really cool matchup to watch right across the middle of the field there. So
yeah, and Zach Bond's he's great running back, great linebacker. He's brilliant.
And he was a special teamer. We brought him on. We brought him on when he first came. They were looking at him more even as an edge rusher than as a linebacker, than as a stand-up linebacker. But Vic Fangio, the defense coordinator for the Eagles, watched him and was like, I like these skills. I like the way they're translating. Let's try him at linebacker. And man, I mean, it was awesome last year, and he's still awesome this year. So
yeah. And we picked up Oren Burks from you guys as well, who's been
he's good.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more in the rotation, especially with our two rookie linebackers that we've got. But anyway, let's not talk about my team and how badly we did this year. Moving on.
You had some injuries there, buddy.
Yeah, I know. It's just unfortunate, but fingers crossed next year might be a little bit different. All right, the next game, Game 5, this is going to be a belter as well. We've got Chargers at New England. Absolutely awesome. Last time they played, Chargers actually won 40-7, but Drake May, mate, what a revelation this guy's been this year.
Great.
His stats are absolutely nuts. 31 TDs to 8 picks.
Wow.
Only 8 interceptions, 72% completion, and 4,394 yards passing.
At the beginning of the year, when the Patriots started winning some of those games that last year they would have lost, and not just lost, but lost badly. I started taking notice, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't know, because early in the season, there's a lot of weird stuff happens early in the season where you see a team win that it's not really that good or something. But as they kept stacking wins, and as I kept seeing them progress, and I kept seeing like he was making May started making reads that let me know that he had taken himself to another level. And all of a sudden they're winning games that if you would have asked me at the beginning of the year, I would no way. And they're a great team. I mean, they were in the hunt for the 1 seed up until the last couple games here. So our last game.
Yeah, they've just been really interesting to watch. And I know there's probably a lot of people out there just going, oh, fuck, they've got another great QB. We just got over Brady. Yeah, they got another one. So, they're a really, really good squad. And they're also second in points per game in the league and third in yards per game in the league as well.
Wow, nice.
So, bit of an offensive juggernaut too. And I think the other thing too, which I know he's copped a bit of flack from wherever he's gone, but Stephon Diggs has been absolutely fantastic for Drake May. He's been a great veteran receiver. And you just see the way that they, even not on field, but the way they communicate with each other and everything, they build a really good rapport. And Diggs had, 85 receptions for 1,000 yards and 4 TDs this year.
Nice. Jeez.
So had a good year. Now, if we look at the Chargers, Herbert was 26 TDs, 13 interceptions, 3,700 yards, 66.4% completion percentage, which is
what I found out the hard way when they beat us in overtime a couple weeks ago was I knew Herbert's a good passer, of course, but he's kind of slippery. He's kind of sneaky. He's not a fast guy, but he's really good. He's really good at when he has to move to pick up the first down. He knows right where he is. Great awareness. So this is going to be a matchup that probably for years to come, you might be seeing May versus Herbert. You might be seeing this matchup for years and years to come, in the playoffs on the AFC side. So,
yeah, most definitely, mate. And as I said before, it's a bit of a change in the guard, and it's exciting to see both of these guys going up against each other too. So defensively, the Chargers are actually ranked 10th in the league in sacks, and they're actually 3rd in interceptions. So their secondary is pretty solid. But I think the way that Drake May's dicing stuff up on the field and 72% completion percentage for a guy and his experience is absolutely brilliant. So obviously having Vrabel brought in as coach has just been a massive help. He's obviously a defensive player, and he was very, very good in his prime as well. But just interesting. Both running backs are pretty solid as well. Henderson is 5.1 yards per carry this year, which is very, very high for a running back.
Oh, yeah.
He's really good. He's had 911 yards and 9 TDs. So I think the Pats will win this one.
I think so too. But I think so too. But like out of the games we've talked about so far, this has the most potential for like a crazy overtime finish for me personally. Like I feel like this thing could come down to like the first team comes down in overtime, kicks a field goal, and then the second team comes down and scores a touchdown and wins the game or something crazy like that. Because these teams are very good. Like I said, we didn't play the Patriots this year, so I haven't seen only just highlights of them. But I know seeing San Diego, Los Angeles now. I forgot they changed everything there, but seeing the Chargers play this year. Before we played them, everyone was saying, "Oh, you're going to be able to get a lot of running yards on this team because their D line hasn't been, they've been susceptible to the run and things like this." And then when you see the guys step up, so I don't know if it was an injury deal that was going on most of the year, but some of those numbers are a little bit hard to see. Both of these teams are kind of clicking on all cylinders right now. It should be a great game. I'll say Patriots though as well. Like I believe Patriots as well.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's being played in Boston, I think it's going to be probably the deciding factor in the end. But I just think Drake May has just been too good this year. I'm not saying I don't like the Chargers. I think Herbert's fantastic and I love watching him play, but I just think that I reckon the Pats have got this one.
Yeah.
All right, and moving on, mate. Last game of this weekend is Game 6, which is the Texans at Pittsburgh. Sorry, just like a horrible taste in my mouth saying that word. The last time that they met, the Texans actually beat them 30-6. So interesting. Health-wise, both teams fully ready to go, which is, you don't want any injuries to any really, really good quality players during playoffs. This is the time when you need everybody, so people can't go.
As long as you don't have your wide receiver fighting any fans, then they'll be at full strength.
Oh wow. He's just built different. He's a big unit, so I wouldn't be mouthing off at someone like TK Metcalf. Sure. Both teams defensively very, very solid, mate. With we got Pittsburgh 47 sacks this year. Texans 47 and Pittsburgh 48. So really, really close there as well. And even with the interceptions as well, 19-15 in Houston's favour. So both defenses are pretty solid. Turnover differential as well. Houston was actually ranked 2nd in the league, which really surprised me.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Pittsburgh were 4th. So, yeah, very, very similar. And even points per game, Houston 13 and Pittsburgh were 15th. So both sort of middle-ish to the higher sort of level as well. Old man Aaron this year had a pretty decent season, 22 TDs and only 7 picks.
I was shocked. And I'm not even joking with you. I was shocked because what I saw from him with the Jets, I thought that was the end of him. Like, I really thought that was because, you go back to seeing him in Green Bay and his glory days, and all that. And then I didn't know. I really didn't know if he had that in him still, but he surprised me. I still don't really like him as a person, but as a player, I can't argue with what he's done. I mean, it's impressive.
He's certainly built different, isn't he? He's a different cat, that bloke. But 24 TDs, 7 picks, 65.7% completion percentage, and also 3,322 yards. So a pretty solid season for someone a lot of us actually thought was washed up. Steelers have a better running attack, though. Warren was very, very good this year. Hate saying it.
I'm going to tell you too. Having Watt back is big. That was a crazy situation to hear about. I mean, it's bad enough when you see people, have a knee injury, an ankle injury, but seeing what happened to him, like that was shocking to hear. That didn't sound good for a minute there. So I'm glad he's okay.
No, it was just a bizarre thing to happen. So for those of you who don't know, JJ Watt is one of the better defensive ends in the league, that's for sure. Absolutely. Look, I'll give him credit where he's due. He's a brilliant bloody player. He was injured because he was having some dry needling done, which is a form of acupuncture, and they punctured his lung.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Excuse my language. How the fuck do you get that wrong so badly? I bet someone lost their job.
Oh, yeah. That's insane, dude.
Yeah, one of your best players, it would be like letting down a balloon.
Yeah, and he was in bad shape. Remember, he was in like it was legitimately like bad for a little bit there. So
that's just, I've never heard of an injury like that before. It's just insane. It's absolutely nuts. But so the big thing is, I think CJ Stroud and the offense are starting to click a little bit more. Nico Collins had 1,100 receiving yards this year, so he's obviously his go-to. So Pittsburgh will need to shut that down. Defensively, they've been pretty solid. Let's be honest. Pittsburgh defense is always generally pretty solid. And even if they have a bit of a lapse, they'll normally come back and start performing as the Pittsburgh defense that we all know that I hate, being in the AFC North. And yeah, I think I'm a little bit torn on this one. I'm not 100% sure which way I want to go. I think the fact that it's being played in Pittsburgh might give them the edge just slowly, but
this is my toughest game. This is my toughest pick, and I'm not even joking with you. This is my toughest pick of the week. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm not 100% sure on who I'm picking. That's how close. Like it is that. Well, because you've seen two different Steelers. I haven't seen a lot of the Texans this year, but I've seen two different Steelers teams. My stepdad is a Steelers fan, so I've watched a lot of their games, and I've seen two different Steelers teams this year. I've seen one that is easily distracted and thrown off their game if they don't get their offense going early in the game. And then I've seen a team that was relentless to get the win. So I've seen both things out of the same team. So it's really hard to pick. I mean, if in Pittsburgh, I'll probably give them the edge and say Pittsburgh. But like I said about a couple of these games this week, if it goes the other way, I would not be shocked, because I think overall, if you went man-to-man for roster, that's a really close a really close pick, a lot closer than you would think of when you think of Texans Steelers.
Yeah. Look, I give the edge to the Steelers just, mate. But I tell you now, I hope the Texans smash them. Come on, Texans, do me a favor. Do the AFC North a favor. Just smash them. Did you watch last week's game, Baltimore-Pittsburgh game?
I didn't see the whole game. I saw it when it was coming down, and I was like, I know my stepdad was like on the edge of his seat, and I'm like, oh man, like I didn't know. Like I honestly thought for probably like 75% of that game, I thought Baltimore was going to win that game. I really did, because it just looked like they, I don't know, it just looked like they were executing better. It looked like they were more driven. It looked like they were like, this isn't really a term, but like out physicaling them. And it looked like they were kind of pushing them around a little bit. And so to have it end like it did, to have the thing, I mean, it's just like, it's kind of crazy ending, but that's how this season's been. I mean, you really can't listen. I love the Eagles and I hope they win, but this season, you don't really know who's going to win game to game. And I guess overall that's great for the league, but at the same time, for me, who has blood pressure issues, it's not that great. It's not that.
I'm the same, mate. I'm the same. I'm on meds for that too. That's what happens when we get old. But it's, as you said, it's been so open this year. I mean, even if you look at, and I was talking about the NFC South before, 3 of the teams in the NFC South finished with the same record, 8-9.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So the league loves parity. There's an example of parity in the league. So I just think it's going to be an absolutely sensational first round of playoffs. I'm going to give this one to.
You don't have to say it.
I should have bought some mouthwash out with me. But I think that they'll get up, but I don't underestimate the Houston Texans at all. I think they're coming good at the right.
I will give you a caveat. I'll give you a wild card there, though. If for whatever reason, and I don't want no injury for anybody or anything like that. If for whatever reason the Texans get physical with Rodgers early, and I'm not saying he has to even get knocked out of the game. If he does come sit for a little bit and Rudolph comes in for them, whatever happens, if they can get physical with Rodgers, this might be a long day for Pittsburgh the other way. Yep. You know what I mean? This could be a close game. like it's hard for us to pick. But at the same point, if they get physical with Rodgers, he's played such a huge role for them this year that if they get, obviously Pittsburgh has always been a running team, they could still do that. But I don't know. There's something about the way this team depends on him this year that if they can get him on the ground, if they can at least pressure him a lot, that will go a long way for Houston, making it to the next round. So,
yeah, agreed, mate. And the interesting thing too is that, I think how deep they go into the playoffs depends, or not depends, but will sort of dictate what Rodgers is going to do next year. So I think if they're one and done and they're out, I think he's done. But I reckon if they go 2 or 3 games into the playoffs, I reckon he'll come back.
Yeah, he could. I mean, listen, I would never have thought that we'd even be having that discussion at this point, because I'm telling you, I really thought he was done. I never expected this year. And hey, credit to him. I'm glad. I like seeing guys fight. I like seeing guys, pull something out of themselves like that they didn't think that they had left in them, or at least that we didn't. Maybe he knew he did, but we, as fans, you only get to see what you can see. You don't see practices. You don't see what they're doing in the offseason. You don't see any of that. So all you can see is what you see, for those 3 hours on the weekend. So, but
And just talking about old quarterbacks for a second, how funny, but what a great story it was seeing Phillip Rivers boot up again after 5
oh my
years.
goodness. Yeah.
That was insane. I know Indy's not in the playoffs, but I just had to mention that. And he came in and he did pretty good.
Yeah.
He did pretty
even
good.
Daniel Jones, I know he's not an old quarterback, but even seeing Daniel Jones with the change of scenery, it's amazing how different the same player can look in a different system or in a different situation. There's so much that goes. Football is the ultimate. This is why I love football the most out of all the sports. I grew up playing baseball, basketball, all these things, football, obviously. But I grew up playing all these things. But as far as watching as a fan, even though it frustrates the heck out of you because you can't get your hands in there and call, change the outcome. But the ultimate team sport, football. There's so many variables. Every single person there has to do their job and come together. And the fact that your collective effort can be so much more than any one individual player, I love it. This is the greatest time of year right now. So,
yeah, look, obviously being an Australian, AFL, Aussie rules footy is my favourite sport, but this is a very, very close second. So, I as I said, I've been following the Bengals for 35 years and love it. Did you play football yourself?
Just when I was younger. I didn't go no semi-pro, no pro, no nothing like that, no college. Just when I was younger.
What position, mate?
Quarterback and linebacker.
Oh, nice. Decision
maker. I loved it. I'm telling you, strategy. I don't care what level you play at. Strategy and when I say strategy, obviously play calling, but even more than that is feeling out your team, knowing how to motivate each guy. Knowing how to, what button to push, what thing to say to what guy to get the most out of him. Those things are huge. And I love that stuff. I've seen, I don't get to see a lot of those guys anymore, but when you get a chance to have that camaraderie, have that shared experience with people like that, it's just an awesome thing. So that's what I love about the Eagles. They've been really close. They're a team that is not just close on the field. They do a lot of stuff off the field for charities and things like that. So, like I said, I don't know how all this is going to pan out, but I'm an Eagles fan, whether they win or lose. That's just how I've always been. So,
yeah, well, I've been a Bengals fan, as I said, for a long time. So whether they lose or lose, I'm still a fan. I went through the 90s, mate. The 90s decade was horrible. The last decade,
did you you had Boomer Esiason?
Yeah, I came in just at the end when Boomer was starting to wind up, mate. So, or wind down, I should say, or they let him go, which was just stupid. And they brought in David Klingler, and that was anyway. So that's. I mean, we'll probably talk during the off season as well, mate, about next year. So again, mate, thank you so much for jumping on. It's been awesome to actually have someone here with me having a chat, and then obviously someone who's a bit knowledgeable about the game as well. You taught me a couple of things today, mate. So thank you. For everyone who's jumped on and watched, or who might be watching this a little bit later, please leave some comments in there if there's anything that you want to add or any questions you've got, or you're wondering what this idiot knows about football. I'm more than happy to have a chat with you. But we'll be back next week. I'm not sure if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday my time. I think it's probably going to be a Sunday show, but we'll let you know. But Matty, thanks again, mate. Absolutely awesome to have you and your knowledge on. Before we go, just want to say hello to our 4-lifers as well. I'm still not really sure how to operate this bloody StreamYard thing, so I'll just give our 4-lifers a shout out and say thank you guys for your sponsorship. Remember, to be a 4-lifer, you don't have to be a paid subscriber to join Aussieverse. All you got to do is simply click like, and feel free to do what Maddie's done today and join us on the channel anytime. We talk about all sorts of stuff. We talk about comic books, obviously. We talk about other nerd shit as well, and sport, bit of wrestling, all sorts of stuff. So if there's something that you're interested in, we probably cover it. So please, when you can, make sure you jump on. Oh, hang on. Who's this guy? Speaking of us, there's your 4-lifers. Thanks, Bo. You're the best, mate. So these are the people that are our paid subscribers. So massive thank you to these guys as well. And comment here from James, more Matt. There you go.
Thank you, James.
You got a job for the next 4 weeks, buddy.
It sounds good, man. Sounds good.
I'd love to have you back on. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed it. An Australian's take on the NFL with my good friend Maddie here, who is one of our subscribers and does an amazing job. We love having him on. Mate, again, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, everyone. I hope your team wins, unless you're a Pittsburgh supporter. See you next week. Remember, Aussieverse is and always will be for life. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Take care, brother.